Hi Texas Ace, this is Donna Wachaleski, one of the technical assistance coaches with Westat. Today I'd like to introduce you to another really cool feature on Zoom, which is using the polls. All of you guys have seen these on our webinars. We do them at the end for the satisfaction surveys, but I wanted to show you a couple other really neat ways that you can incorporate the polls into your activities with staff or students on your meetings. All right, so there's lots of different ways that you can use polls, and the first one is to assess current level of knowledge. I did this in the meeting that I just did today, so I wanted to see if anybody had any experience with the things that we were going to be talking about already. So we're going to pop on over to the Zoom call, and I'm going to show you what that looks like in action.
So I am going to launch my first poll here.
I created this poll at the beginning of the meeting to get a sense of everybody's understanding of what we were going to talk about today. I wanted to find out, is this brand new information to them, or are they old pros at this already? So this poll was designed to give me a feel for that so I could gauge the meeting accordingly. You can see at the top it tells you how many people have voted already, so you can see if you're waiting on anybody, and how long the poll has been going on too. So we are about to get up to 5 to 5.
All right, 5 out of 5. So I'm going to end my poll here, and I'm going to share my results, which is going to show you guys that about half of you have hosted a Zoom meeting, nobody's used the whiteboard, and nobody has used the breakout rooms yet. So cool, this will be something a little bit new.
So we just talked about how you can assess current level of knowledge. Also increases engagement and attention. If you're expected to vote in a poll every now and again, you tend to stay a little more connected. Can check for consensus if you guys are having meetings. Another thing that's kind of neat, I think, is to be able to check for understanding on things. And that's what we're going to show next in our video of our Zoom call from today.
So we talked about the polling. I'm going to actually go and launch another poll right now.
With this poll, I wanted to get a feeling for where everybody was at with what we talked about so far. Were they lost? Were we on point? Were they getting it? So this can be a great way too to check for understanding of where people are at with things. Sometimes people are afraid to speak up if they don't understand something because they feel like they are the only ones in the room. So when you do a poll like this and nobody can see what the other people are saying, it can give you a feel for where your audience is at. So you know if you should move on or if you should stick around and still work a little bit on what you're talking about.
So how do we do the poll?
So how do you create them?
Yeah.
Because there are some features that are only available if you are the meeting host. The polling and the breakout rooms, they're at the bottom right next to your share screen. Those two options would show up if you were the host of the meeting.
Okay.
There's a button with 3 little dots on mine as the host, and one of the things that I can do is I can make someone a co-host or I can make them a host. Let's say I wanted to have Jeanette as my co-host so that she can be sharing out on her screen and then I would just make her a co-host or a host, and then she would have the ability to do these breakout rooms, create the polls and everything.
We just got done looking at how you can use Zoom polls to check for understanding throughout your meetings. The last parts are assessing satisfaction, and I also wanted to show you guys how you can get some data to follow up from your polls as well. So you have to go to the Zoom website, not the app, so that's zoom.us. And then I'm going to go into my account and go to my reports. I'm going through all of this kind of fast. I'm really just trying to give you an introduction to what's available. And there's lots of great tutorial videos available that can really walk you through this step by step to show you what to do. I'm going to go down to my meeting because that tells me what my poll report is. And I am looking for my extras meeting. That is the one that we just did a little bit ago. So I'm going to generate my data. Then on my poll report for my Zoom extras, I'm going to go ahead and download that information. Open the file. It is going to open up an Excel spreadsheet here. If we open up our data sheet and clean it up just a little bit, it's going to look something like this. I changed just a little bit of the information to be able to have a discussion with you about this. One of the things I wanted to point out is in the question of understanding over here, which is the does this make sense, you had one participant who reported, no, I'm lost, little Jane Doe here. And it's got her email address. One of the things that allows you to do is be able to reach out privately to be able to offer a little bit of extra support and assistance. The last thing is just a quick overview of how to create a poll. You can create polls in advance by going to the Zoom website, going into your account, and I already have a meeting scheduled all about polls that I want to put a few polls in. So if I go all the way down to the bottom of that meeting, you can see it says I have my polls here. I created one already as a sample. I can go into here and look at it, and that one's going to be a question on use. Will you use polls now? Single choice means that they only get to pick one answer, so definitely, maybe, or no way. And then there is also my second question that will launch at the same time is what types of polls will be useful to you? This is multiple choice, meaning that they can pick more than one answer. They can pick as many as they want of those. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And to show you really quick, you can just add a new poll and it's just going to bring that blank one up. You can title it. If you want to click on anonymous, it's always anonymous live, but the anonymous just comes back with your data, whether or not you can see any connection to that person's contact information with your data if you print out those reports at the end. So just to show you what that looks like once we go in with our pre-recorded polls, I'm going to go to that meeting, all about polls, start the meeting. All right, so if we go down to polling here and I click on that, it is going to open up the only poll that we created so far, which is use. I'm going to say, oh shoot, I forgot I wanted to do a starter poll to kick us off. So I can just go into edit. It's going to bring us right here. And then maybe this is our starter poll. So this might be, how is your day? Go back to my polling. I want to go up here to the top. I want to use my starter poll, which is going to be, how is your day? Launch that poll. And then that's going to put it out to all of the participants. Hosts and co-hosts cannot vote in the polls, so it's just for participants. So I can also go then back, let's say we do the rest of our meeting, go back to my polling, and then that other one I created earlier, that use poll is right here. Will you use polls now? And then what types of polls will be useful? I can launch that poll, and then my participants can have a chance to vote on that. Once I end the poll, you will see the ability to share results. You also have the option to relaunch the poll at any time. If you're interested in what you see and you would like to go through some step-by-step instructions with how to get started with your polls, you can go to the Zoom Help Center, do a search for polls and go that route. You can also go to any of your search engines, do a search. It'll come up like this. If you really like to watch videos instead of reading instructions, you can just click over here on videos and it's going to bring up all kinds of great videos with way more functions and polls than we had time to cover today. So hope these are helpful for you. Have a great day.